How is it going, everybody? I cannot believe it has been over a year since I uploaded my last video. Hope everybody's been doing really well in their trading this past year. I want to first start out by saying before I get started that I am very sorry to everybody who's been emailing me nonstop asking me questions about books, indicators, EAs, companies, things to look at, things to review, asking me where to start, who to look for, mentors, mentorship from me, all of these things. I just want to say I'm sorry that I haven't been able to get in touch with you guys as quickly, but I have just been extraordinarily busy. I found today was a day that I was able to do this video. I actually was trying to do it yesterday, but then a lot of things came up. Phone was going off the hook. So I'm able to have this time today to be able to do this video and talk about the company that I have been getting so many emails about, which is SilverStar Live. A lot of people have been asking me to do a review on SilverStar Live, asking me, Bruce, can you do a review on SilverStar? I've been hearing about SilverStar, I've been hearing about Hamilton, been hearing about Benjamin. I want to know about it. I want to know if it's good. I want to know if it's legit. Before I really get deep down into all of the evidence that I have found why I personally would not go to this company, a lot of people may be new. I've noticed that SilverStar really prize on people who are very new, beginner elementary level into the Forex world or just trading in general. And I know that a lot of people may see this video from this company and they're going to say, well, Bruce, what makes you able to say that this is, why should I listen to you? What makes you qualified? Well, I have been trading for roughly 7 years. This June will be 7 years that I have been trading. I trade for a large firm, a private firm, and you don't have to take my word as gospel. You don't have to think that what I'm saying is true. I always implore people that if you don't believe me, then go and test it. But when you lose your money, don't come crying. I mean, it's the hurtful truth. That's just what it is. There are a lot of scam companies out there. I will display why MLM companies, multi-level marketing companies, should never be connected to the Forex world. It always ends in bloodshed. I mean, you see what IML or iMarkets Live has done. A lot of companies try to bring forth MLM into the Forex world, and all it does is just bring a lot of headache into the company, and a lot of customers end up losing a lot of money. So let's just get started with this. So if you haven't heard of SilverStar Live, I'm sure a lot of you have. They basically are a product-based company. They sell these EAs, Benjamin for the MetaTrader 5 or MT5, Conservator for MT4 as well as MT5, and Hamilton just for the MT4. Now, what I'm going to basically do here is by the end of the video, I'm going to test a lot of these EAs and show you why a lot of these guys, when they show you backtesting, they only show you backtesting for a month or two, or maybe 3 months, or maybe 4 or 5 months. They never show you over a year's worth of backtesting, and there's a reason as to why that is. Not only that, but SilverStar really makes it apparent that this is a revolutionary software. Nobody else has ever done this before. This is AI. This is artificial intelligence. It's not. All it is an EA, which is an acronym for expert advisor. There are thousands of expert advisors out there. There are tons and tons and tons. You can code them yourselves. Some of these are extremely easy to code because they're just a basic indicator, just one easy indicator to be able to trade for you if that's your trading style. So not all EAs are bad. I would personally say that it's about maybe 1 to 2% of EAs are good, but nobody sells them. They make them for themselves. That's how my EA is. I developed one. It took me about 1.5 years to develop because it's my own trading strategy, but I don't use it 24/7. I use it when I'm traveling, or I'm taking a call, or I have a business meeting or something like that, and I want to be on the market for 2 or 3 hours. My EA can do its work, and then when I get back to the office, I shut it down. Most EAs that run 24/7, they're either really slow growth build because they try to be extremely conservative, or they just bust your account because they overtrade. So with that, we have these products in which they sell. Now, we'll get into that a little later, but the next thing that I always like to look at personally is the people who run the company. Now, I'm going to only look at this gentleman here, Quicksilver. I will not talk about Candace or Hassan, there's a website that you can look at. I'll bring it up on the video that you can look in that talks about these two individuals as well. But we're going to talk about Quicksilver. Now, this video is not to personally bash anybody or spread negativity or try to slander anybody. This is just information that I have personally found. A lot of people ask my opinion, and then I present my opinion. So this is all just public knowledge that I have found, and this is why I personally would never put my money into a company like this. With Quicksilver, you see that both of these people here, Candace and Hassan, they use their name, but Quicksilver does not. And there's a reason for that, because if you search his name, you end up finding that his name is David Wayne Mayer. David Wayne Mayer has been charged with driving under a suspended license, illegal credit card usage, and you can find all of this information here. It shows all of his documentation from when he was filed or when he was charged, and all this good stuff. So you have all of these things that you can look up. Now, I know that this is kind of petty, like driving under suspended license. That can happen, and I totally agree. I personally think that if I was working for somebody or working with somebody and they were arrested for driving under suspended license, that can just happen. Not, you can have a suspended license and not know it. But this is the big one: is illegal credit card usage. This to me is a really, really big one. Now, you will find that this gentleman here, Mr. Mayer, he will use he talks a lot of big game. He has a lot of claims out there. There are a few videos that I have watched, and I'll pull them up here in a moment, but this website is called therealquicksilver.com. This really lays out a lot of detail about this gentleman and talks about a lot of the claims that he's made. The biggest one that I heard was that he traded for a really, really big fund. Yes, Platinum Partners. What you can find when you search Platinum Partners is that they were charged with $1 billion worth of fraud back in 2012. These are all the things that you can find. Now you have a credit card fraud on the gentleman, and then you see that the company he worked for also engaged in fraud. So this is something that you see. This is just public knowledge. Then you have something that he talks about, which is he claims that he's tripled his he does no less than triple his account every single month, and he's done that for he switches it to 16 to 17 years. Now, you can take a calculator and do a $1, triple it, I believe, let's see, 16 years, so 16, then 12 months in a year, so 16 times 12, so 192. All you have to do is just do 1 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 and do that 192 times and see the number you get. It will be in the zillions with Z. Not T or B or M, but with a Z. It'll be in the zillions. So a lot of people will say, well, Bruce, he withdraws his money. That's just what happens. That's why he doesn't, have that kind of money. Okay, well, that may be. But also understand that this guy's really hard to find, as far as the only thing when you look up his name is SilverStar. That's all you find. You don't find that he's been tripling his account, because I can tell you that big traders, if they were doing this in the Forex game, if they were making this type of return all the time for 16 years, they would be in videos. People would want to interview them. They would be on talk shows. They would be in magazines. They would have articles written about them. Huge multi-billion-dollar hedge funds that are extremely well known, not Platinum Partners, would be trying to hire this person. That is the honest truth. That if you have a track record like that, somebody will want to hire you. That's just what will happen. And what's so interesting is that he claims to have done this. He claims to have been trading for 16 years. I've seen a video where he claimed to have traded for 17. I saw another that he said 20, and I saw another video where he said 21. So he jumps around with that number. I understand, like, sometimes we don't realize how long we've been doing something, but whatever. But understand that if there's a person who's been trading for that long, why is he promoting brokers that have no regulation? They have no licensing. I saw that he tried to promote different brokers that offer this extremely high leverage, that all it's going to do is just bust your account because you over risk, you over leverage your trades. That's what tends to happen. And so I just always wondered that when I saw these videos with him. I'm thinking to myself, why would you promote this? I mean, if you've been in the game for this long, I haven't even been in the game for this long, and I would never promote that. That to me is just so abnormal to me. It's extremely abnormal. So that's to me is the biggest thing. Now you can see other results on here, and we're going to go through that a little later. But you can see that people bust their accounts all the time. This is just extremely risky. These products are extremely risky. So let's talk about the videos that I have seen, because you know the biggest thing to me is, since it's MLM, you want to look at the people who are really promoting the company. There's one person in particular that I saw on one video, and I thought, this person looks really familiar, and I'm going to show you why they look familiar here in a second. Alright, so I had actually stumbled across this video here when I was looking into the different videos that I had seen, and a lot of people actually had sent me links to different videos and all this great stuff. So, stumbled across this one, the world's first ever AI-powered Forex trading software, SilverStar Live. And at the very beginning, you see this individual here, and I watched the entire thing, and I'm sitting there thinking, why does this gentleman look so familiar? I'm trying to understand, why does he look so familiar? Everybody else in the video doesn't, but this guy does. And it's so funny because I had made a video, and let me actually pull it up, and I'm going to show you really quick why this person looks so familiar. Alright, so this was a video that I actually never published. It was about VKU, or Vector Kings University. If you're not familiar with them, I have a video about them. They were, oh my gosh, they were taking intellectual property and selling it out as their own. They were stealing property in the Forex game as far as indicators and EAs, and they were selling them off as their own. They were changing the name and all this sort of stuff. Now, a side note, kind of a detour, is if you take an EA, or an expert advisor, and you take an you have EX4 files, and then you have MQ4 files. MQ4 files are not locked. EX4 files are. They're compiled, is what it's called. So if you take an EX4 file and you decompile it, and then you change the name and then recompile it, and you did not get the publisher's permission to do so, you will, and this is with indicators as well, not just EAs. This is with indicators, anything to do with MetaTrader. That is considered by law intellectual property theft, because that's their property. It's just like going into someone's home that's locked. You don't do it. And so you can get in a lot of trouble. Now, there's a lot of coders out there that will make different EAs, different indicators for you, all this great stuff. If you want an alert, if you want arrows, if you want, you know, crossovers, if you want things to change color, whatever, there's a million different ways that you can do things in coding and in the MQL software. But if you go to them and you say, I have this indicator, or I have this EA, and it's an EX4 file, and I want you to decompile it for me, about 99% of them will say no. And some of them will just completely cut off communication with you because it's illegal. You're not supposed to do it. So with that being said, that is what this company did. And this was where I saw this gentleman, and I thought, whoa, this guy looks familiar. And it's because he had promoted VKU at one time. He may not have been personally promoting it, but it seems that Tyrone Foster had him there, and you know they're showing each other trades and all this sort of stuff. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's where I've seen him from. Now, I understand that a lot of people will say, oh well, you know, he didn't know and all this sort of stuff, and I completely understand that. Maybe he is in the dark when it comes to that. But for me, if I were to see that, and for me, it would be a complete red flag for me to just walk away. If you have been a part of a scam company before, you will probably become a part of a scam company again. What you'll learn in life is that rarely people change. They say they change. They may change for like a year. They may change for a couple months, but they always revert back to their old ways. And that was over a year ago, the VKU thing. So things can definitely change. So understand that. Now, in this video, he is showing you, as far as he, meaning Quicksilver, he is showing you the EA. He's showing you how things work and all this sort of stuff. And he's showing you how the trading works and all this great stuff. And it's so crazy because a lot of this stuff is what they're showing you. All he does in the EA backtest is he does 1 month worth of backtesting. He does January 1st, 2018 to February 1st, 2018. This is not enough to be able to see a worth backtest. If you know anything about the Forex game, there's a rule called the 90-90-90 rule, which is 90% of traders will lose 90% of their equity within 90 days. That's the rule. So testing anything for just 30 days is never enough. And most of the time, 90 days isn't enough either. Sometimes the market's going to take some whips and saws, and it's going to take some huge plummets, or it's going to take some huge spikes, and you have to be prepared for that, and you have to test these things. The other big thing that you want to test is when it comes to MetaTrader 5, as far as getting the proper back data, you are not getting that with the visualization. My apologies. When it comes to MT5, MQ4, or I'm sorry, MT4 MetaTrader 4, you can get extremely accurate data. With MT5, you have to download a lot of different data. You have to get a lot of interesting. It's really crazy. I don't personally trade with MT5. I still use MT4. MT5 is just a headache when it comes to trying to backtest certain things. It is truly a headache. But I can tell you from research that once you do the visualization, it will not give you the proper back data. So that is that alone. So we are going to show you the MT4. Now, before I do show you that, I wanted to actually show you the website that I had mentioned before. This is called BehindMLM.com. You can find this. You can probably just search this into Google and this will pop up, but it's from Behind MLM. And here it actually does talk about Candace, and it talks about Hassan. It talks about where they come from, what they've done, all that great stuff. This article is extremely interesting. It goes extremely into depth about their MLM concept, how much they charge. They charge $199 for a one-time payment that supposedly includes your first month, and then you pay a $145 a month. It talks about that, talks about obviously what we saw earlier, talks about his charges that were filed, all of these extremely crazy things that you can find. So this is a great website. The last thing that I wanted to say about the company in its entirety before we move on to the products is that something that I found is that SilverStar Live goes by so many different names. It goes by SilverStar Live, it goes by AR Global Markets, it goes by Market Hackers, and I'm sure many others, but those three are the big ones. I'm sure people who promote AI Global Markets, people who promote Market Hackers are probably saying, oh, well, this is just groups. That's the group name. They don't actually, they're not the actual company. They just sell the product. To me, that's so bizarre. I mean, you have this company is allowing these groups to just to change their name and all this sort of stuff. So I think, to me, that's a little weird. I wouldn't say that it's a red flag, but to me, I think it's weird. I know there's some big companies that do that, but it's kind of sketchy practice, wouldn't you say? I mean, you have a big company that's coming out and they're allowing these other groups to sell the product under a completely different name. Why don't you just go under SilverStar as a marketer or an affiliate and just keep it with that name? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I believe these two gentlemen here are from Market Hackers, and so it just doesn't, to me, doesn't make any sense. And I know that one of these gentlemen here that I definitely recognize has done Forex before, and they have blown accounts and all this sort of stuff. So everybody tries to jump on board on the Forex game, and what ends up happening is they try to, especially if they're network marketers, they just try to make it a network marketing company, trying to just bring people in, let them blow their accounts. It's not a big deal. We'll make a few $1 million, and then we'll exit, and then we'll do something else. We'll do another scheme like that. That's what these guys do. So that's as far as much as I have found on the company. There is so much more stuff that you can find, but I do have a little bit of time here, so I'm trying to make this video as short as possible so I can show you the back test, so I can show you all this stuff, so I can really get deep down into the product, because that's what they sell. And that way, you can do your own research and find different stuff. Now, the last thing that I did want to say here is that if you are wanting to learn how to trade Forex, everything that you need to know or want to know is online for free. Baby Pips has an incredible library and sessions and lessons that you can go through all for free. They have an entire catalog of information for you to be able to learn. There are books that you can download for free online if you're wanting to learn candlestick patterns or trend patterns or different candle patterns or whatever. There are so many things that you can find online for free. There are a lot of companies that will try to charge you for lessons or try to charge you for knowledge when it comes to learning this. Do not pay for it. All of it is for free online. And the majority of these companies that I've mentioned before in previous videos take from Baby Pips. They remarket it, they reword it, and they label it as their own. And that's what a lot of these guys do. So if they're trying to charge you for something to learn something, don't pay for it. You can find it for free, 100%. I promise you. Now let's get to the EAs. All right, so here we are on FX Choices MT4, their classic, and we're going to do some testing here. I was able to find Hamilton. It was not hard to find. The company actually gives it out for free in order for you to backtest. And we're going to go through and we're going to go onto their website and see what type of things that they suggest. They suggested this broker, so we're going to use this broker, and we're going to see what we can find. This is a live account. I was able to get a live account specifically for this video because testing on demo account is not as accurate because the spreads are different. So you want to get live data. You want to get the best data that you can possibly find. Now, before I get into this, well, actually, let's go ahead and do a test because I'm going to show you something that's extremely important. Actually, let's go ahead and talk about it because I think it's important before we actually get started. Now, this is Strategy Tester, this little window here. This is going to do a back test as far as I want to do it. If I wanted to do it for 2018, I can go all the way back to the 70s if I really wanted to. But we're not going to go that crazy. We're going to do 2019 from its entirety, January 1st up into the 20th, because this is where I've got downloaded. Now, we're not going to do visual mode because that is going to make it extraordinarily slow to go through. And we're just going to do some back testing. But before we do that, I want to talk about this little box here, use tick data. Using tick data is extremely important. This is what's going to give you the best quality. Now, I've done a report already, and what you will find is this right here, the modeling quality. You want this to be 99.9. If this is anything lower than that, do not trust the backtest. The backtest is not going to be right. It's not scanning it right. It's not getting the live prices right and all this great stuff. So I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, well, what in the world is modeling quality? Basically, what that is in layman's terms, it is taking, when you're doing a backtest, it's taking all of past data, right? So what you want is it to be as accurate as what it was when it was actually happening in the live data itself, when it was live. We're not just taking backtest data, we're taking it live as if it were really happening right now. The closer you are to 100%, the more accurate it is. What's so crazy about modeling quality is 90% and 99.9 are extremely different. You can find EAs that will give you a 90% modeling quality now, because when you download MT4 and you do an EA test, it will always give you 90%. I think there are some brokers, but it's crazy brokers out there that I'm sure a lot of you guys have never even heard of, that do still have 99.9%. But if you do a test and it says 90 and it's like making so much money, I can almost guarantee you that when you do it in a 99.9, it will fail. How you get 99.9 is interesting. You have to download a software that is on, I guess it's eareview.net is the website. It's Tick Data Manager, TICK. Let me bring up the website and I'll show you. This is it here. Now, I've had it for a very long time. I'm not too sure. As you can see, 99% modeling quality, amazing results in MT4 backtesting. So this is what you'll need. It shows you the difference in MT4's data versus Tick data. It shows you the difference. It shows you that it gets as accurate as information as it possibly can. It gets as you can go down into the nitty-gritty on things. I mean, it's amazing what it can do. So this is what I suggest you get before you do. You want to find 99.9% modeling quality, because what it's doing is it's downloading all of the history. It's downloading the most precise history. So back to the test. So that is what you want, 99.9. So we're going to do the Euro USD. I believe I have a notepad here. Let me see. Okay, yes, I have the notepad here. We're going to look for Hamilton. So what they suggest on their website is you want Euro USD 5-minute. That's what we have. You want it to be, let's see, let's go through the settings here. They want the grid. They say the grid needs to be 95. They want the bit is not different. They want the lot size to be 0.01. Okay, enable Friday. They don't say to turn that off, so we'll do it. Max spread is I think it's as well as 10. We'll recheck everything, but I believe this is all they want you to do. I think yes. Here we go. First trade take profit is 30. Okay, that's on there. And then 45 minutes for web check. So that is what we're going to see here. I think the max spread even on the Benjamin is 10. So we're going to keep it that. I believe that's all correct. We're going to test this on a $1,000 account. The leverage is what we're going to do. We're going to do the highest leverage that FX Choice allows, because this is what Quicksilver asks for you to do. So you can change all of this stuff. If you want to change the leverage, you can do that. It's pretty easy, but FX Choice does not offer anything above 1 to 200, so we'll do 1 to 200 as the leverage. Everything is good. Everything's good there. So we're going to go ahead and do this test. Now I'm going to run the test, and when I come back, I'm going to show you the results, because I don't want the video to keep dragging on, because it's going to take probably 3 to 4 minutes for it to do its entire testing. And then when I come back, we'll see what the test results are. All right, and so here we have the testing is all completed. Here are the results, and we can see the graph. Now, of course, I'm sure a lot of people, now this is just within a 3-month time frame. I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, well, this looks great. I mean, the blue line is just consistently going up. This is great. This is great. This is great. This is not as good as you think it is. You have a huge drop off from 1576 all the way down to 1222. Maybe not even 12. Yeah, 1223. This is like $300 just gone like that. And you can see the green line here is your equity, where the blue is your balance. So you can see where the equity is dropped off all the way down here. And it's because what this all is what's called a grid system. This is a grid system EA, which is basically kind of like a martingale style. And you can see that within the lot sizes. You can see that it takes 0.01, 0.05, 0.04, 0.1, and I think it may go higher if you keep going, but it rarely does that. But what ends up happening, now mind you, this is only 3 months, so you have made $294. Now if we go back, it was $145 a month. So you have that times 3, so 435 minus the 294. You still owe 141. You have not made profit. Now, I'm sure a lot of people go, well, Bruce, you didn't do USD JPY, the other pair that they suggest. Okay, well, we'll do that, and then it will come back. All right, and we're back with this one. And as you can see, this one actually failed within 3 months. The USD JPY actually failed and lost all of the money. I don't even think it lasted that long. It didn't even last from January 1st to the 3rd. So what we'll do is, and you can see 99.9% modeling quality. What we'll do is we'll do some more testing. We're going to do 1 whole year, because this to me is what will really, really show. I'm going to do from, you know what, we'll do it from March, because this way nobody can say, well, you included the January 1st, and we don't do that. And we'll try enabling Friday and not enabling Friday and see what happens. And here we have the USD JPY didn't even last 1 year. It completely flopped as well. These types of EAs, all they do is they just go up, then they down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Typical EAs, what you're going to see is just kind of like this, and it kind of goes down, and it kind of goes this, and it goes down. It's almost like a heart rate monitor type thing, and it either keeps going up or it either keeps going down. But this type of thing where it just is a steady incline, huge decline, steady incline, huge decline. It's all it is a martingale. And what that is it takes, let's say for a buy example, it'll take the smallest lot buy, 0.01, and if it goes against you, it will take another buy at a higher price or a higher lot size, and if that goes flop, then it'll take double what the second one was, and if it does worse again, it will take double of what the third one was, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. Where when you were risking 0.01 lots, now you're risking sometimes 2 whole lots. Now this, I don't think this may add up to 2 whole lots, but it will surely get close to 1.5. And if you're rocking a $1,000 account and you are just over extending trades like that just to make a little bit, because that's something that you'll notice is that it will take on these huge losses to only make a little bit more. And that's what ends up happening. You can see like these 2 trades here. Oh, it lost $6.03, but then it made $6.84. So you extended your drawdown to just make 81 cents. That's just insane. You should never, ever, ever, ever do that. So the next thing is there was another EA called Conservator. We have that one as well, and we're going to test that one for 1 whole year. All right, now I have Conservator here. Now this just should be the very last one. Everything else you guys can test on your own. You don't have to let me do it all for you. Just go ahead and do it, because we're overextending to almost a half an hour for this video, and I hate that it's this long, but this is what we have. So now let's go back and let's get their details, the suggested inputs and pairs that we're going to test. And we always test in the Euro USD, because if you don't know, Forex is a $5.4 trillion a day traded market. The Euro USD almost holds over almost 70% of that volume, Euro USD. So you always want to test things on your Euro USD. I always actually say, if you're new to the market and you're wanting to learn how to trade on your own, not worried about EAs doing it for you, is learn on the Euro USD. It's a major pair. It's the most major pair. It's the biggest major pair. It's the most traded pair. And you'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot about candlestick patterns. They'll show you different things about trend lines and reversals. You can test indicators very, very well on this, because it's not as volatile as some crazy pairs like the GBP JPY or things of that nature. So we're going to get the settings from their website, and we're going to test Conservator. All right, and we have the suggested guidelines. So we're going to test this again on a $1,000 account. We're going to go into the inputs, and we're going to take on everything that they claim. So with a $1,000 account, they want the lot size to be 0.4. We'll do that. They want the take profit to be... it actually doesn't say. So it must be everything is going to be default, just the lot size is different. So you have a take profit of 50, so you're going to risk 50 pips to... you're going to risk, 1,000 pips to just make 50. Lot mode is at double. We can change that if we want, but we're going to do double because that's what it suggests. Pips to open the next order is 500. Max trades 3. Max hours 3. Max points to lots after max hours is 0. So again, we have $1,000 here, and we're going to test it on their default settings, and we're going to see what happens. Now, this particular EA we're going to do on visual mode, and I'll show you why when it's done. Actually, I meant to change this to M30, so now we're going to test it. Now, I'm actually just going to keep this recording so you guys can see it, because I'm not going to run this thing for very long. You know what? I will run it for the entire year. We'll see what happens. All right, and as this Conservator is coming close to its expiration here, we're just going to look at the graph and see what it's showing. We started with $1,000. We started in March of 2018. We are now in October of 2018, and we only have a balance of 1,023. So we made $23 off of Conservator. Now, this is what is interesting to me. Now, I'm going to stop this because at the moment, excuse me, you see nothing here, just the graph, right? But watch when I press stop. Now we see the indicator that lies underneath all the code of Conservator. Now, as this thing was going along, I was putting horizontal lines on this thing. And I'm going to go ahead and change something so you guys can see it. Change this to 10, change this to 90, and press OK. All this EA is an EA based on the RSI. That is it. It takes trades when the RSI hits a particular point, and that's it. It's a one indicator EA. Now, a lot of people would wonder why this is so important. It's because this EA you can find for free on the internet. Now, you can see here this huge, long, dotted blue line. What this is you see a trade was done here, a trade was done here, and a trade was done here. You can see 0.8, 0.8, 0.4. So it took 2.8 trades right there. Now, as you can see, this is where the stop loss level was. If we take that level, we see that it is almost about 100 pips. So it was risking 100 pips worth of drawdown to basically make about 2 pips off of these 2 trades. That's it. This is the type of risk that you're handling. And this is not Not good practice. Now you can say, well, you know, they want you to trade on like 20 something pairs at the same time. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that this EA is nothing more than just a one indicator EA. You can find it online. Just type in RSI EA. That's it. All this thing is doing, and they hide it in plain sight here. But it's a grid EA. It's still grid. It's still doing a martingale when it doesn't. You saw that back here when it doesn't execute, because this took a buy here. It didn't go up. It took another buy. And if it would have come down here, it would have taken another buy. That's what it does. It takes multiple buys. Now the max amount of trades is all up to you. You can do 3. You can do 1. You can do however many you want. And this is easy to code. You don't have to pay $145 a month for something like this. You can literally get this for free. As a matter of fact, let's look one up. Let's put RSI EA MT4. And we're going to find one. And it's going to be easy to find. All right, here we go. All right, here it is. You can download it for free. Click that and it'll download. Shows you all this stuff, shows you all that. Talks about the EA, talks about what it has the buy and sell, it has the trailing stop, it has all this sort of stuff. If you want to go, this is an MQ4 file. This means it's open for coding. If it's MQ4, you can have somebody recode it. You can have them add these inputs into here. I'm sure because it's so simple, they probably charge you $20 for it. It's so simple to do. So to end this, I would personally say, my personal Bruce's opinion is, do not go to this company. This company has shown that they're using EAs that are not proprietary. They're not something that is extremely interesting or new. They talk about how it's innovative, how it's artificial intelligence, it's AI. It's not. All this is it's just indicators. That's all it is. The Benjamin, all it is a stochastic indicator. It's for free. You could find it for free online. It's easy to find. All of these things are just Benjamin is just a hedging indicator. You can find that for free online. All these EAs are just free indicators online. Now, a lot of these guys will have you get EAs that overtrade like this. I know I did a Hamilton test, and I made it as extremely conservative as I possibly could to see how many trades it would take in a year, and it took almost 16,000 trades in a year. That means that it was taking over 1,000 trades a month. Over 1,000. Mind you, how much money they'd probably be making off the affiliates from the brokers. I mean, this is what they do. This is what these companies do. Always be careful with this type of stuff. Don't just throw money at something just because they hand you numbers. Ask for these back tests. Ask for MyFX books. If they're selling an EA or a product like this, ask them for a tester of the EA. They should always be able to give that to you. It's easy to code. If he has the MQ4 file, all he has to do is punch in the code for a trial. That's it. He gives you a code for the trial, and then after however many days he's coded it, it doesn't work anymore on your M24. Allow them to give you like 7 days or a money back or something like that, so you know you're not risking your hard-earned money on something like this. This is crazy. When I found out that this Conservator was literally just an RSI indicator, that's nuts. That's insane that they're selling this to you for $145 a month, over $1,000 a year for something you can find for free online. Don't do it. I hope that you guys found this video informative. Sorry that it lasted so long, and I again apologize for not uploading as much as I used to. Hopefully that you find this video, hopefully it steers you away from companies like this, not just this one. And as always, be safe out there.